I know this is kind of old news, and it really wasn't covered, but it really wasn't covered in the media, so I'll talk about it. Sargon of Akkad made a really good video about it. I suggest you go watch it. He calls it gay imperialism, and well, that's essentially what it is, according to the left. And this is really funny. So you may have heard about this. Trump is basically supporting an initiative worldwide to make it illegal or to push countries to reform their laws and basically make it so that they pass solutions to make killing gays illegal. Which, by the way, I'm totally for. And I'm totally for. Well, I'm not for this. I don't think we should be spending our money in these other countries and wasting our time, because it's a very slippery slope, and we'll probably end up in another war. They're saying, "Oh, it's going to be peaceful and all that," but they always say that. Um, I think it's kind of a waste of time, and Trump's not going to get any help from the UN or anything. So it's really kind of a pointless thing. I haven't looked up any new developments on it, but I know the media's basically been silent on it, or if they have talked about it, they've trumped up some stupid excuses as to why it shouldn't be done and all this other stuff. And I agree that us spending our money all over the world and trying to get these other countries to do what we tell them when they already hate us. You know, like, you're not going to tell Afghanistan to pass laws that are more homosexual friendly. It's Afghanistan, okay? But we could certainly see maybe some improvement from this campaign, but we could also see some worsening in a lot of these regions. I just don't think it's worth our time. And it's not that I don't care about gays in foreign countries. I know what they have to deal with overseas is really awful in some of these places, but I think our government's going to screw it up like they always do. And Trump is giving the generals, that, by the way, that's my thumb, is giving the generals a bone here. You know, it's like he's it's like they want him to do this, basically. A lot of these higher ups in the military, we're talking way high up in the military and high up in political positions, they see this as another opportunity to possibly get us into another war. And I think it's just risky business. I wouldn't mess around with it. I think maybe supporting organizations that go overseas and do this would be better. You know, maybe supporting organizations that get refugees out of countries. I mean, even Christian organizations would be like, "Hey, let's help out these gays," you know. So certainly, let's find a better. Let's find, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of private organizations, nonprofits who'd be willing to do this. It's just the government has a monopoly on everything, and so they can't. So I don't think it's a good idea to, you know, throw billions of dollars at this problem when there are other organizations that could do a much better job. But I certainly think maybe encouraging these other organizations to do so, maybe giving them some tax credits or something, or whatever, or, you know, they're non-profits, then maybe being their taxi service, right? Like, they, you know, the Navy's their taxi service over these countries. Who knows? But I don't know. It just seems kind of risky. It seems like it's not worth it. But what was the biggest story that came out of this was, of course, they couldn't give Trump anything. They can't ever admit he's right on anything, or that he's not really that conservative when it comes down to his core beliefs. Maybe he governs more conservatively, but that's because of the media. Maybe if the media wasn't so hysterical all the time, he'd throw him a bone. So that was really the biggest story. But it was just, it is what it is, man. Look, Trump is the first pro-gay president that's been pro-gay the entire time he's been in office. And of course he is. He's surrounded by gays. I mean, he has his own fashion line. Who do you think is making his fashion? Who do you think's putting on his makeup before he goes out for a TV appearance? I mean, come on. He's been around gays his entire life. His wife does fashion. Who do you think his wife's been around? They call pretty women who are in the fashion industry, they call them models and things like that. They call them fag hags. That's actually what they call them. By the way, gay people call them that, so I'm not just using a derogatory term with that. And it's used because these models, these women, are surrounded by gay people because of the fashion industry. And so, like Melania Trump, I'm sure she's totally fine with gays, and I'm sure Trump is too. So it's just it's really a non-issue, and I wouldn't really talk about it if the media didn't say anything negative about it, but they did. And then the rest of them just kind of ignored it or pretended like it wasn't what it was, as they typically do, and twisting the story. And by the way, it looks like I have less facial hair in this lighting, which I'll admit, I don't have a great beard, but in this lighting, it looks like I don't have any above here, and that's not at all accurate, but it just doesn't look right. It's because it's dark in the room, and my skin shines through everything because I'm so white. So pardon me for the lighting, but I didn't want to turn on the overhead light and all that. I kind of just like this because at least you just see my face. But that's all on that, and I'll see you in the next video. There's this video, environmentalism. I have it written up here so I remember to do it. Environmentalism and abortion are directly linked. I will put it out. I just have to gather my thoughts on it because I want it to actually be good. And it basically is going to be outlining why does the left support both abortion and environmentalism. What is the point of environmentalism? Okay. And the point of environmentalism is to have a reason to kill babies. Because you can't say it's not a baby anymore with 40 ultrasounds and viability being the earliest it's ever been, and like 90% of biologists who actually study human biology saying that life starts at conception. So you have to have a reason to kill babies. And that is, of course, environmentalism. So I will talk about that in another video. Please like this, subscribe. I'm desperate, guys. If you don't subscribe, I will starve. It'll be all your fault, too. You'll be like, oh, man, that Jacob guy. Man, that conservative guy speaks guy. Man, his videos were not that great, He kind of rambles like he is right now. But I didn't want him to die. That's what'll happen. So maybe you should hit that button. remember, God knows He's watching you.